Hello, everyone. I hope you're ready to write today. We're going to continue with our opinion writing and talk a little bit more about how you can make it a little bit stronger or improve your writing skills. So I'm going to share my screen with you, and we are, of course, going to get started right away if it opens. Here we go. So for your opinion writing today, you're going to be writing about more than one part of a book. Another thing I want you to think about is try using literary language or the lingo of writing, and also try using interesting word choices as you write your opinion letters. Writing longer means planning more parts. But what happens if you forget what you planned? One way to remember the plan you talked out with a family member, stuffed animal, or your dog is to use one page for each part. Jot a few reminder notes on a Post-it to put at the top of each page. I'm going to be using an example from Katie Woo, Boss of the World. Now, the yellow boxes you see are actually my little fake Post-it notes. I thought of 3 different parts, so I'm going to have 3 different pages with a little yellow Post-it note at the top of each page to help me remember. The first part I'm writing about on page 1 is going to be about how Katie bosses her friends. And what I thought would fit with that would be how she bosses them when they're making the sandcastles, at lunch when they're eating French fries, when she's on the swings, and when they're collecting seashells. When I go to write that page, I'll have this note at the top, and it will remind me to make sure I write about all 4 of those different things. When I'm all done writing that part, I'll go to my second page and I'll have my Post-it note already filled out and ready to go. This time, I think I will write about Katie Woo doesn't notice how Jojo and Pedro feel. And you might notice I didn't bother writing down the names. I just wrote down the capital letters. And in this one, I feel like Jojo and Pedro are still hungry and Katie's smiling, and that fits with how she doesn't notice how they're feeling. I don't think she notices how they're feeling when she's lying on the blanket all comfy and they're itchy in the sand. And I also wrote no swing, no fun. I don't think she had a clue that they were upset. She was swinging, having a great time, and they ended up just walking off. She never noticed. When I'm all done writing about those things, I'll go to my third page. But this time, I'm going to use the example from Katie Woo, Boss of the World, as well as Katie Woo Blows Her Top. I want to compare the 2 of them. I haven't done that before, and you might notice I only have 2 things written down, but I think it will be enough. I think I can compare between the 2 books or texts that she doesn't pay attention to her friend's feelings. I'm noticing that's like a little pattern with her. And I also notice when she does realize it, she tries to fix the problem and they do make up in the end and they remain friends. So again, even though there's only 2 things, I think that will be enough for me to write about that part. You can write about as many parts as you want. Just remember to make sure you have a couple of reasons for each part. Go back and look at the text or the text if you're comparing between 2 books and find the evidence or examples you need to support your opinion. Can you make your letter stronger, longer, and more convincing? To write longer, stronger, and more convincing, you need to use all of the writing skills you've learned this year. So whether you were writing narrative or informational writing like your expert book, or even your poetry unit, anything you learned during this school year, I'd like you to show off a little bit and start using those skills to the best of your ability as you're writing the body of your letter. Once you know your plan, your reasons, and the examples you want to use, think about your word choice. You could try to use more interesting vocabulary or describing words. Don't just stick to the usual words. Be more specific. So don't say something's good when you really mean it's sweet and juicy and so scrumptious. You could try using literary words like character, setting, or problem. I know you know those words, but you could actually write them in the body of your letter. And then think about this. Are you sharing your point of view? That's another way you could say your opinion. Are you noticing a theme or pattern in the way events are happening or in the way certain characters are behaving? So you might notice over time that a character is behaving a certain way just like you might notice family members or friends behave a certain way. You might have known someone from preschool and say, oh, they're always such a loyal friend. Or you might notice, oh, that person's always in a great mood. Or boy, that one, they're always complaining. So the traits that you might notice in your friends and family, you'll also notice in book characters, and you'll see them grow and develop across a series of books. So today, I guess what I'm saying is try to be a little fancier in the way you explain your opinion. Maybe explain things in a little more grown-up way. It's time to write. As you work on your opinion letter today, jot down reminder notes and try to use events and characters from both Creature Campers, The Secret of Shadow Lake Part 1 and Part 2, which you know is on Epic. When you've finished writing, go back and reread your letter and see if there's a place or two where you can improve your word choices and make your writing stronger and more convincing. So today, I hope what you're going to do is take your time, really plan out what you want to write, and jot down some reminders on little Post-its. You could even just write it right at the top of each page and make sure you don't leave anything out. And then also consider using really good word choices. Kind of be a show-off with your writing today. Good luck.